One death just changed the course of Westeros forever. In the world of Game of Thrones, we're used to seeing heads roll, but this hit differently. It wasn't just a king who fell, it was the man who was meant to be the best of them. Welcome back to Screen Time with Azar. If you just finished the Season 1 finale of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms titled The Morrow, you know that the Trial of Seven didn't just end in blood, it ended in a tragedy that reshapes the entire Targaryen dynasty for a century to come. Today, we're doing a deep dive into that devastating ending, explaining the true cost of Dunk's honor, the secret shift in the Iron Throne succession, and how these final moments lead us directly into the massive conflict of Season 2. To understand the ending, we have to talk about the silence of the morning after. The episode opens with the heavy realization that while Duncan the Tall is alive, the realm has lost its greatest hope, Prince Baelor Breakspear Targaryen. Think about the irony here. A trial by combat is supposed to be a divine judgment to prove someone's innocence. Dunk was innocent of the charges brought by the cruel Prince Aerion, but the cost of proving that innocence was the life of the crown prince. This is the classic George R.R. Martin gut punch. Justice isn't free. Baelor wasn't just a prince, he was a warrior scholar, a man who combined the strength of a dragon with the heart of a commoner. By stepping into that trial for a lowly hedge knight, Baelor proved that true knighthood still existed in a world of corrupt lords. But in doing so, he left a terrifying vacuum in the line of succession. With Baelor gone, the ending explained goes much deeper than just a funeral. We are witnessing the beginning of the end for the Targaryen peak. Baelor was the steady hand. Now, the line of succession shifts toward his brother, Prince Maekar, Aeg's father. Maekar is a man living in his brother's shadow, filled with a mix of grief and accidental guilt, as it was his own mace that struck the fatal blow to Baelor's helm. This tragedy hardens Maekar and leaves a door open for the more unstable elements of the family, like the sadistic Aerion Brightflame, to cause further chaos. This loss is the first major domino to fall in the slow decline of the dynasty, a path that leads us eventually to the Mad King decades later. The most emotional scene of the finale is the private conversation between Dunk and Prince Maekar. Many fans expected Maekar to execute Dunk or banish him for Baelor's death. Instead, we see a moment of surprising wisdom. Maekar realizes that his youngest son, Aegon, our little Aeg, is different. Aeg has seen the truth of the world. He's seen the cruelty of his brother Aerion and the nobility of a man who owns nothing but a horse and a shield. When Maekar allows Aeg to continue squiring for Dunk, it's not a punishment, it's an investment. Maekar knows that if Aeg stays at court, he'll become another entitled prince. But on the road with Dunk, he'll learn what it means to be hungry, what it means to be cold, and what it means to serve. This bond is no longer just about a knight and his squire. It's about a mentor shaping the future king, Aegon V, the king who would eventually be known as Aegon the Unlikely because he loved the small folk too much. As the final shots linger on Dunk and Aeg riding away from the ruins of Ashford Meadow, the tone shifts from tragedy to a quiet, wandering adventure. But don't let the scenery fool you. Where they're going is even more dangerous. Season 2 is officially titled The Sworn Sword, and it will take us to the Reach during a devastating drought known as the Great Spring Sickness Aftermath. Dunk and Aeg will find themselves in the service of a broken, elderly knight named Sir Eustace Osgrey. Unlike the grand tourney of Season 1, Season 2 will be a gritty, Western-style story about a border feud over a small stream of water. It explores the lingering resentments of the Blackfire Rebellion, those who stayed loyal to the Red Dragon versus those who secretly supported the Black Dragon. We're going to see Dunk realize that even when you try to stay out of politics, the Game of Thrones always finds a way to pull you in. The ending of The Morrow cements this series as the perfect bridge between the high fantasy wars of House of the Dragon and the political grit of the original series. It reminds us that history isn't just made by kings on thrones, it's made by the choices of a giant man with a shield and a bald boy with a secret. The sacrifice of Baelor Breakspear wasn't in vain. It saved the life of the man who would teach a future king how to be human. So, what did you think of the finale? Did Baelor's death hit you as hard as it hit me? And how do you think Aegon's father, Maekar, will handle the guilt moving into next season? Drop your theories in the comments below. I read as many as I can. If you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to Screen Time with Azar. We're going to be covering every bit of news for the Sworn Sword and the rest of the Westeros universe. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep watching the screens. I'll see you in the next one.